It's 10 p.m. in Banjul. This is the News Force, the headlines. Officials of a real estate development firm based in several African countries calls on President Jammeh Babili Mansa at the State House. A positive tap on the shoulders of the government, an influential Gambian beauty queen in the diaspora welcomes the recent ban on female genital mutilation in the country. Words of commendation for the country's leadership and lawmakers as members of the National Assembly fraternity conclude a rotational outreach program in the Upper River region. The United Nations describes North Korea's latest war games relating to the designated hydrogen bomb as a threat to world peace. And still not out of the woods, French police killed a man carrying a knife after forcefully making attempts to enter a police station. These and other stories coming ahead in this half hour. I am MOMODOU. A delegation from the China The Real Group, a real estate development firm based in several African countries, Thursday called on the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Dr. Alhaji Yahya AJJ Jammeh Babili Mansa, at the State House. The group was led to State House by its Chief Executive Officer, Fei Yimin, and included other high-ranking company executives. It could be recalled that Professor Jammeh, during his last state visit to Guinea-Conakry, visited the Diamond Plaza, a real estate project built by the group in one of the districts of the Guinean capital. The President was highly impressed with the style and quality of the low-cost housing units. Professor Jammeh therefore invited the group to visit the Gambia to explore investment opportunities in the highly competitive real estate market in the Gambia. The delegation is expected to spend the next 4 days in the Gambia, where they will hold meetings with government officials and explore areas of cooperation. One Adama Job, winner of the 2015-2016 African Netherlands Beauty Pageant, on Wednesday visited the State House to present to the presidency her battle trophy contested by 20 different nationalities. Shortly after a brief discussion with the Vice President, the 21-year-old beauty queen, who chose women empowerment as a platform during the competition, welcomed government's recent move to criminalize FGM in the country. During an interview with journalists, here is an excerpt.
The purpose of your visit to the presidency?
Thank you very much. I'm very honored. I received an invite from the President's office, and it feels amazing because, like I always say, I did it in the Netherlands for the Gambia, and for the Gambia to recognize me as well, it's a very big honor, and I'm only here to be received and honored by the dignitaries in the House. Yes.
How can you help portray the Gambia's image as a positive tourism destination in Netherlands?
Thank you very much. Well, part of the beauty contest was that we had a round where we should talk about our country. You know, so I used the opportunity to describe Gambia as a smiling coast of Africa, as the home of Kunta Kinte and many others. So I've gotten quite a few emails, and people have asked me a lot of questions, and I haven't stopped yet, because like I talked about it right now, I am starting an organization and a foundation in the Netherlands for women in the Gambia. So that is also another way to keep attracting tourists and onlookers to come to the Gambia and visit, because it's a very beautiful country.
This award is coming at a time when the Gambia has criminalized the practice of FGM in the country, and you have taken women empowerment as your platform. How do you welcome this government declaration?
Well, the government has made it very easy for me, because now we only have to focus on the little things like giving out to the less fortunate, because in the Gambia, education for women is free, for girls it's free, and like you said, FGM is no longer in practice in the Gambia, and I'm very sure the government of the Gambia will take more of the initiative to make life for women in Africa easier. So it's very welcoming, because when people hear about it in the Netherlands or anywhere else, it makes it more appealing to come to the Gambia, knowing that women have a voice and women are supported and empowered here. So, yes.
Any plans to help strengthen women empowerment, because it's a top government priority in the country here? Any plans?
Yes, my Adama Job Foundation for Women is going to join hands with the government to make sure that we give back to women, make sure that girls take jobs in fields that most people would consider not feminine. So in the field of health and sanitation, education, and a lot more. My foundation will do our best with the team that I have to make sure we help the government of the Gambia in the fight and the journey towards women's empowerment.
Adama Job talking to journalists after her courtesy call on Vice President Her Excellency Aja Dr. Isatou Njie Sedi at the State House. Following the dissolution of all APRC party structures within the Bakau constituency in the Kanifing municipality on 4 December 2015, the party chairman, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of the Gambia, Sheikh Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Chame Papile Mansa, has appointed the following to serve in the new Constituency Executive Committee of the APRC for Bakau. Chairman Alhaji Luntang Jaite, Bakau Central, Vice Chairman Alhaji Modi Jain, Newtown, Secretary Alhaji Abdullah Jallo, Wasalunkunda, Assistant Secretary Peter Korea, Farokono, Treasurer Alhaji Babakar Jenkins, Bakau Central, Mobilizer Dulo Jallo, Sanchaba, Youth Mobilizer Usman Rambo Jata, Bakau Central, Women's Mobilizer Kumba Bari, Sanchaba, National Assembly Member Khalifa Jammeh, Bakau Central, Dudu Bojang, Alkalo, Bakau, Musa Sidibe, Alkalo, Wasalunkunda, comprising K Point, Alhaji Bahum, Councillor, Bakau Newtown, and Fajara Ward, Basiru Gassama, Member, Newtown, Kadiba Sidibe, Member, Kachikali, Aja Fatu Jata, Head, Yai Kompin, Bakau Central. In addition, the following appointments have been made. Organizers or mobilizers, Kadi Diba, Newtown, Aida Marena, Newtown, Ndei Fatu Khan, Newtown, Adamaba, Bakau Central, Fode Labang Jaju, Sanchaba Yamundau Jalo, Sanchaba, Binta Jata, Sanchaba, Ibu Sane, Fajara, Alhaji Sanyang, Kachikali, Binta Sinkala Jata, Wasalunkunda, Alhaji Muniru Tanji Kora, K Point, Amina Papia Jaju, K Point, Adama Sise, Mama Koto, Yunusa Jaju, Mile 7, Aroki Sonko, Fajara Barracks, Aliu Kujabi, Fajara Barracks, Rosemary Gomez, Fajara Barracks, Council of Elders, Alhaji F.R.I. Jami, Chairman, Newtown, Alhaji Modundur, Member, Newtown, Paseni Diba, Member, Newtown, Usman Bojang, Member, Newtown, Bakau Central, Farmer S. Bojang, Secretary, Bakau Central, Sam Dubois, Member, Bakau Central, Pa Subuna Bojang, Member, Kachikali, Alhaji Sose Koli, Member, Kachikali, Janko Damfa, Member, Kachikali, Usman Conte, Member, Wasalunkunda, Lady Councillor Aja Aida Bojang of Bakau Newtown, reacting to the news. The APRC General Secretary, Honorable Balagabe Jahumpa, Minister of Transport Works and Infrastructure, said, "The people of Bakau are one. The APRC is one, and now they have an opportunity to close ranks and demonstrate to the party leader and the whole of the Gambia that they don't come second to any in their loyalty to the country. The party and our leader, we should all let bygone be bygone and work towards the development of our country. The APRC belongs to all of us, whether we hold a position in the party or not." Sheriff Bojang, a party liaison officer for the municipality and Minister of Information and Communications Infrastructure, said, "My senior liaison officer, Foreign Minister Mrs. Nene Magdul Gay, and I thank the party chairman for taking the bold decision in resolving the long-festering inter-party contention in the constituency of Bakau. We believe this new committee is inclusive, broad-based, and truly representative of the APRC within the constituency of Bakau. We therefore believe the committee will bring about the desired reconciliation among the party apparatchiks and re-energize the base in the constituency as we prepare the ground for forthcoming electoral cycle." National Assembly members from all sides of the political divide have gathered in Basse, Upper River region for what is being described as an outreach program. Francis Mendy has more on the opening.
Governor Upper River Region Omar Sompo Sise thanked and commended Speaker Abdoulaye Bojang for, in his words, the remarkable achievements of the National Assembly, but not without recognizing the role played by the head of state to the creation of a peaceful and conducive environment for lawmakers to do their job. The clerk of the National Assembly, Dudu CM Kebe, made it known that he can only hold one exercise that brings together elected representatives and representatives of the electorate, adding it is held on a rotational basis, stressing that it is now the turn of the Upper River region. Dudu CM Kebe revealed that governance has been included in the topics that should be discussed by the Synergy for the first time. The clerk also paid glowing tribute to the lawmakers for the remarkable interest in the exercise.
People will only succeed because people will support them. There is no point when I design programs, no matter however good the objective is, if you don't support me or my office, it becomes useless.
Kebe delved into the 3 recognized types of audit exercises, revealing that the social audit allows the masses to come face to face with their elected representatives, an opportunity they would hardly get during the political audit, which is usually the preserve of the elite at constituency level. Mr. Kebe also told his audience that Gambian lawmakers are the only elected political representatives in Africa who return to their constituents and subject themselves to social audit, hence the financial backing of the United Nations Development Programme, World Bank, and African Development Bank. Chief Hame Minte Kurbali recalled attending a similar exercise and thanked the National Assembly members for mustering enough courage to submit themselves to social audit. Dr. Rashid Dramman of the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs stated that one of the biggest challenges facing lawmakers the world over is proper representation of their constituents, adding, the only thing that guarantees longevity is an impressive track record. Dr. Dramman also posited that it is often said that members of parliament want to stay close to their people, but argued that it's just on paper more often than not, but added that is the reality here in the Gambia.
Your parliament and your country has a number of best practices that is not known to the outside world. In my organization, we work with almost all the parliaments in Africa, and I've been to almost all the parliaments we have in Africa. And what I have decided to do, Mr. Speaker, is to appoint myself as your ambassador.
The Minister of Works, Construction, Infrastructure and National Assembly Matters, Bala Gaba Jahumpa, attributed those remarkable and unreported good things Dr. Rashid alluded to earlier to the quality of leadership we have in the Gambia.
Dr. Rashid, Dr. Abdurrahman Rashid, you have mentioned that the image you have seen in the Gambia is different from the bad image that the reactionary elements give to Gambia. By the time I finish my regards, doctor, you will realize that this nation is blessed with a leader that is a Pan-African.
Bala Gaba Jahumpa also reminded the gathering of the 3 awards that were recently conferred on the head of state, citing the one from President Ernest Bai Koroma and tied it to President Jammeh's Pan-Africanist traits.
This is the sort of leadership that progressive Africans were looking for. Voices that will stand up and defend the interests of the African people. Voices that will stand up and defend the African continent.
Minister Gaba Jahumpa thanked partners like UNDP, the World Bank and the African Center for Parliamentary Affairs for supporting the social audit and commended the lawmakers for summoning enough courage to submit themselves to social audit and external oversight.
Because normally it is the National Assembly that holds a park peg to scrutinize in a positive way public enterprises in the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, it is now the turn of the electorate to have their own park peg, and I am sure it will be done in a very productive and progressive manner.
The Minister for National Assembly Matters also thanked the lawmakers for the manner in which they have been representing their people. Francis Mendy, GRTS.
A number of volunteers headed by Alhaji Abdullah Bojang, commonly known as Ablo, on Thursday descended on President Jammeh Babilimense's farm in Ferrato to harvest the rice. Janke Toure picks up the rest of that story.
St. Joseph Senior Secondary School Class 1975 and the school board staged a gala dinner to raise funds to help improve teaching and learning outcomes in their alma mater. The proceeds was Thursday delivered to the school in the presence of the entire student body as direct beneficiaries. The mood was that of joy.
On behalf of the principal, the staff, board of governors, and the school administration, and my fellow students, I would like to thank the class of 1975 for what they have done, for the time they have spent, for the troubles they might have gone through, and for everything. Because this is really special to see students graduate from a school and after 40 years, going back again to do something as great as this. But
prior to the delivery ceremony, the alumni have agreed on principle with students that they must work hard to produce great results, hence the catchphrase, to whom much is given, much is expected.
We have agreed that you will work hard and that you will excel. To whom a lot is given, a lot more is expected, right? So, on our part, we have agreed that the ex-pupils of St. Joseph's High School will work with the principal and the board to develop a plan of action for the development of this school.
The alumni of St. Joseph have two plans for the school, the long and the short term.
One is to revamp the science laboratories and ensure that there is equipment. Two, to make sure that you have textbooks that will enable you to learn effectively. Three, to ensure that you have quality teachers, and that is the reason why I'm asking that we tell the DPS that this school, the only school that offers secondary education for girls, that this school needs quality teachers. And these teachers have to be retained in the school. So to retain them, we need to motivate them. We need to make sure that they continue to support you and not be moving in and out of the school. And fourthly, we need a functional library that accommodates a good number of you at any point in time, and also that you have a computer lab with not just 10 dysfunctional computers, but a computer lab that gives access to internet and enables you to be able to research on the web on anything that you want to study about and supplement the learning that you get with the support of your teachers.
For the long-term plan, the ambition is to build a new St. Joseph in the Kanifing municipality to save students the trouble of traveling to Banjul every other day, since it was realized that most of the students attending the country's only girls' school are traveling from the area. Mohamed Jallo, the Deputy Permanent Secretary for Programs, Administration of Basic and Secondary Education, is one of the board members at St. Joseph Senior Secondary School. Jallo and co were also grateful to the alumni of the school, as he spoke on behalf of the ministry and the school board of governors.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Coker, because really since Ms. Coker came to the school, we have seen tremendous improvement. The board, all the other board members are here. Because there is renewed focus. There is renewed focus in terms of the performance. Every time we have a board meeting, we look at the performance previous year compared to current year by subject. In fact, I'm sure the students will realize that up until last academic year, Ms. Coker was not teaching. But the board had to force her to teach because she's a math teacher. And in fact, one of the best math teachers that you can have in this country.
With the class of 1975, St. Joseph Senior Secondary School has just begun to have a glimpse of that great future it is working towards. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
We apologize for bringing you that wrong story. It was a story rather on St. Joseph Senior Secondary School, which has begun the challenging task of improving teaching and learning outcomes. The fear of the hydrogen bomb and the war games between North and South Korea reaches new heights. Find out after the break how a suicide bomber in the French capital attempted to mangle into a police station with a knife. Welcome back. A day after North Korea successfully designated a hydrogen bomb, the international community has strongly condemned the act. The UN Security Council is calling it a clear threat to international peace and security. There has also been protests in South Korea where government has cancelled all cross-border initiatives and also announced the resumption of propaganda broadcasts into North Korea.
Surprise nuclear test. Protesters take to the streets of the capital, burning an effigy of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. A hydrogen bomb would be far more powerful than the atomic weapons North Korea has tested in the past. There is plenty of doubt over Pyongyang's claims, but the move shows the regime is determined to improve its nuclear arms capabilities. All of us in South Korea, together with the United Nations and the world community, strongly condemn North Korea's fourth nuclear test. We demand severe new sanctions against Kim Jong-un's dictatorship. The North Korean government has violated UN resolutions, as well as our truce treaty. The latest nuclear test could even damage North Korea's relations with its ally, China. Residents there are nervous. I think North Korea is an unstable country with unstable policies. For a country like that to have nuclear weapons is a threat, not only to China, but to the world. As the UN Security Council discusses possible measures, the South Korean government hopes China will join in demanding new sanctions. China has made its position clear in denouncing and opposing North Korea's nuclear tests. Therefore, we expect China to actively cooperate in Council meetings and conferences, including at the UN. Showing off its military might is an effort by the impoverished state to boost its support at home. Now South Korea has said it will restart broadcasting propaganda messages across the border into the north, a move the Hermit Kingdom sees as an act of war.
A man wearing what is believed to be a suicide vest, wielding a knife, tried to enter into a police station in the northern part of Paris. Officials say the man was shouted Allah Akbar. We have more in this report.
Developing situation there in the north of Paris, and police take the suspicion that this man may have been carrying an explosive vest very seriously. They have sealed off the entire area. They have asked neighbors and bystanders to move away from the scene, to close their windows, to stay in a safe place in case this may indeed be a suicide vest. Also, the train stations and a number of tube stations in the area have been closed down by police forces. It's very much a city still on the edge here.
Meanwhile, France has been marking the one-year anniversary since the deadly attack on the French satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo in Paris. President François Hollande visited the French capital to mark the event.
François Hollande inspected police and armed forces units. These are the men and women who are now charged with protecting the country from terrorist attacks. After a year in which Paris experienced 2 deadly attacks, Hollande praised the work of law enforcement in its efforts to keep people safe. Each time, policemen faced the murderers to neutralize them, protect our fellow citizens, and attend to the victims with the firefighter units. This is why this ceremony is first and foremost marked by gratitude and remembrance. 12 people lost their lives when Islamist gunmen stormed the offices of Charlie Hebdo 1 year ago. But the attacks haven't stopped the weekly magazine from its work. Charlie Hebdo has released a special anniversary issue in the same uncompromising spirit. Its offices have also moved to a new secret location.
Well, we'll go back now to Paris, where our correspondent Georg Mattes is standing by there for us. Georg, we heard President Hollande there praising the police, the way they've dealt with these attacks in Paris. What else did he have to say?
He did indeed deliver a powerful speech there to the police officers at police headquarters here in Paris, and paid, first of all, his tributes to the 3 police officers that have lost their lives in the attacks a year ago. But then, quite interestingly, he also paid his tributes to all the police officers who lost their lives in violent crimes in the past year, and then went on to say that he wants to strengthen police, to give them more power to face the terror challenges they are facing these days. And for instance, he said he wants to make it easier to sustain targets, to search houses, to carry out raids, to seize weapons. And in order to do that, he is seeking constitutional change, a constitutional reform. He wants to enshrine the state of emergency that is currently in place in France into the constitution.
We'll take our second break now. Sports news is next. Welcome back. The Basse football team has been boosted by the donation of a set of brand new jerseys by the Friends of Basse. The jerseys were received by Governor Omar Sompo Cisse of the Upper River Region URR. Our MS Jallo reports.
Who came together to help their hometown. Since its inception, Friends of Basse has been offering assistance to the community of Basse in various areas, including education, health, and sports. Their recent intervention was a donation of a set of jerseys to the Basse football team. The presentation was held at the governor's office at the just ended 26th edition of SAFRA, held in Basse in the final week of 2015. The gesture delighted the Basse sports officials, who thanked the donors for complementing their efforts in promoting sports in the area.
We are very grateful of this gesture. It came at the right time. And obviously, this is the way that the people of Basse, residing in Basse and in the diaspora, can give back. As you rightly state, we are all members of the FOB. But actually, you've done it all by bringing this jersey to the football team. And we are very sure that it will be utilized properly. It's a very good gesture, so we are very grateful. On behalf of the regional sport and on behalf of the young people of URR, we thank you very much for this laudable gesture that is coming from Friends of Basse.
The donation forms part of the Friends of Basse's support to the 2015 SAFRA, the week-long sub-regional convergence hosted by Basse.
Charity begins at home. I think you did the right thing and also at the right time. This is going to complement the regional sports committee with regard to the expenditure. Because if you want to buy this thing, total cost of this thing is a lot of money. So therefore you are complementing the effort, especially in the financial sector.
The governor of Upper River Region joined his deputy in thanking the Friends of Basse. Governor Cisse described sport as one of the most lucrative industries, which can serve as a life-changing activity.
So the responsibility is ours. We are very happy for it. Say hi to the entire membership of OB, that we really count on them, and anytime we call on them, they make their response, and we are proud of them.
Governor Cisse, himself a former sports administrator, knows quite well how quality football materials can improve performance and results. The jerseys might be provided for the SAFRA competition, but will benefit the Basse football team beyond the sub-regional convergence. MOMODOU Jallo, GRT Sports.
And before we take leave of you, a recap of the day's main stories. A positive tap on the shoulders of the government. An influential beauty Gambian queen in the diaspora has welcomed the recent ban on female genital mutilation in the country. Words of commendation for the country's leadership and lawmakers as members of the National Assembly fraternity concluded a rotational outreach program in the Upper River region. The United Nations Security Council has described North Korea's latest war games relating to the designated hydrogen bomb as a threat to world peace. And still not out of the woods, French police has killed a man carrying a knife after forcefully making attempts to enter a police station. That's all we have for you now. Until then, I am your presenter, MOMODOU.